also in a starting kind of a role between wide receivers Mike Harley, Jeff Thomas, and DJ Dallas. I think that one or two of those guys are going to be starting level players. DJ Dallas was an athlete out of Brunswick, Georgia. He settled at wide receiver through the spring, and they're going to try to leave him there. He does have the ability to play defensive back or running back, other things, because he played all over the field in high school, in addition to being a high school quarterback, but he moved to all those positions. So multifaceted skill set he has, but looks like he's going to stick at wide receiver, and they're going to hopefully be able to leave him there and develop him at one spot as opposed to, trying to move him around. So a master of one trade instead of a jack of many, as it were. But he is a very talented guy. Mike Harley and Jeff Thomas can flat fly. Jeff Thomas is a top 50 player in the 2017 recruiting class who had academic struggles throughout his high school career, got kicked off the team as a junior in high school, removed from an All-American game, earned his way back on, graduated, and is enrolled at the University of Miami. So people were talking about, maybe he won't make it in because of his academic struggles that one year when he's going through some personal things. He's on campus. So don't know what to tell you. So Miami got one of the fastest, most electric playmakers in America to come in. Also, Mike Harley from St. Thomas Aquinas. Sorry, Jeff Thomas is from East St. Louis, Illinois. Very rough neighborhood, rough place. So he's coming over to Coral Gables. Mike Harley is from Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas Aquinas, and he also can fly. There were some 7-on-7 coaches. Shout out to my man Sean Rose for South Florida Express, who were shaking the table last year about this time and saying, you give me any defensive back in America one-on-one with Mike Harley, and I guarantee you Mike Harley's going to light them on fire and flambe them because they can't cover him. And that just bore itself out to be true. So even at St. Thomas with, other 4- and 5-star recruits, Mike Harley's out there making plays. He goes to the U.S. Army All-American game, and he juked some guys literally out of their cleats, made them fall, and was uncoverable the entire time. So he's another guy like Jeff Thomas who's very fast and quick and able to make plays. So, between those three freshman receivers, I really expect probably two of those, maybe all three, to step up into rotation, starting level guys. I don't know which is which. Just on speed alone, I would maybe say Thomas and Harley a little bit in front of Dallas, but Dallas was there because he's an early enrollee, so he's been through a spring already. So maybe he has the leg up. We'll see. Another guy up front on the offensive line, Vaughn Donaldson, big number 55, big Vaughn from Miami Central, 6'5", 370 pounds, give or take, 350-ish. I don't know, big dude. But he can play tackle or guard, but he's probably going to stick at a guard position, and they can have a veteran at tackle next to him to help that transition as a true freshman. But he's big, he's mean, and he's really, really, really good. And I think that automatically, by getting to Vaughn Donaldson, increases the skill level on the offensive line, even as being a freshman. So I think that he's going to come in and play a lot. Also, on the defensive line, you have Jonathan Garvin, a 3-star recruit from Lake Worth, I want to say. And the kid, he was underrated as a recruit. And Jonathan Vilma did, the University of Miami, they had these great videos on signing day when they brought in former Canes greats to talk about the 2017 signing class. And John Vilma came in to talk about Jonathan Garvin. And I've said this on here before, but he just was flabbergasted. He said, man, this kid is so quick. You take 2 steps and he's already around the corner off the snap. And, the high school tackles are barely able to get a hand on him. And obviously, the level of competition increases when you come up to the collegiate level, but he's an early enrollee as well and went through the spring and, was looking at making plays, and he was, routinely having his name called saying, he didn't do everything perfect today, but John Garvin flashed a couple times. And that's a kid who, even in the Miami defensive line rotation, which is one of the best in America, this is a top 5 defensive line, probably top 3, he could find his way into playing time. And if you really, it's really interesting to me because even if he's not a starting caliber guy where he's not in the 2 deep, but he's still getting rotation snaps, if you tell John Garvin you have one job and that one job is to get the quarterback, he could be really good. He could have 6-7 sacks just as a pass rushing specialist as a freshman, because you have other guys in front of him that have the rounded out game where they're going to be doing twists and stunts and, running, run defense and, goal line and all these other kinds of things on the defensive line where you just say, hey, 97, go. That could be a really advantageous situation for him. So I think that he's a guy who's really going to go. So those guys, I think, are the impact kind of guys.